All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Master Advisor. Today is August 3rd. This is episode number 75. We have a great travel advisor today to talk to us about trends in the industry, demand, pricing, and a lot more. A sort of check in on the industry sentiment since this is our last summer session. But first, I just want to run us through some housekeeping announcements. I want to thank everyone who came out on the last session where we spoke about travel insurance. That was an interesting topic for us. It was a difficult one with all the policies and all the legal terms, things like that. But I really enjoyed having that conversation. It was one that a lot of you requested, so we were happy to do it. If you didn't catch that session, that episode will be available on our YouTube page. All of our audio and video content is there. So we'll drop a link to the YouTube page in the chat now if we can. And yeah, while you're there, always ask for a subscription. That really helps us continue to grow this community. And for those of you who might want to rewatch this one, that's a question that comes up pretty regularly during these. That one will be loaded and live sometime later this evening, and then it'll be in our newsletter tomorrow morning as well. And like I said, this is our last quote unquote summer episode. We'll be back on September 14th, which I know is still technically summer, but it's post Labor Day here in the US. So yeah, we'll be taking a little break, but it should be the last big break we have before we take off through the end of the year. So if you're not subscribed to TMR, please do so in order to get future updates on these episodes. We already have a couple planned that we're really excited for, and we hope to see you all there pretty soon. Some great guests, some great topics. So we have a full rest of the year once we get back in September. So please keep an eye out for that. And then one last thing before we get to our guests today, we're really, really happy to welcome WeTravel, who is sponsoring today's episode. And joining us from Italy, actually, is Jamie Albert from WeTravel, who's going to talk to us a little bit before we introduce our travel advisor for today.
All right, thank you. And thank you everyone for joining. As Dan said, my name is Jamie Albert. I am the partnership specialist at WeTravel. And yes, I'm in Italy right now, but I'm normally based in Los Angeles. So WeTravel, some quick background about our company. WeTravel was founded in 2016, and we are a booking and payments platform and a solution for travel advisors, travel businesses, really anyone who organizes trips. Today, our platform is used by more than 5,000 advisors, businesses, again, any kind of trip organizer. And we help our clients increase sales conversion, trim admin time, and manage fund transfers from travelers to suppliers globally. We're so excited to co-host this session with TMR today. And the talk with Belvin is going to be really insightful and really interesting to help us as travel professionals stay ahead of the curve and proactively address consumers' needs and expectations. So this is sure to be a very insightful conversation. Before I hand things off, I also want to quickly announce a free virtual event happening next week that WeTravel is hosting. We are hosting our first annual Tech and Innovation Summit. It is next Thursday, August 10th. Like I said, it's virtual and it's free, so anyone can join this event. There will be multiple sessions about adopting technology and how travel professionals can seamlessly integrate technology into their day-to-day operations. We'll have sessions about AI, payment solutions, marketing, and most importantly, we'll have easy to follow steps to help you understand how to digitize your travel business. So that's all from me. Without further ado, I'll hand it back to Dan.
Yeah, thank you again, Jamie. And I know we dropped a couple links in the chat for people who want to check out the Tech and Innovation Summit next week. But let me go ahead and introduce our advisor for today's session, because I know that's what we've all sort of been waiting for. We're really, really excited to welcome Belvin Baldwin, the owner of the award-winning travel agency Showtime Travel, which designs luxury vacations for busy professionals. Aside from his role with that, Belvin is also an executive council member for the Affluent Traveler Collection. And he's been featured in a number of different mediums, including Travel Noir's top 10 luxury travel advisor list and Rob Report's best Black travel specialist. I know you're traveling as well, Belvin. So first of all, thank you for making the time to talk to us today. And we're really excited to have you.
Thank you, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So I know we have a lot to get to. I'm really, really excited about this conversation because we haven't really done these sort of sentiment check-ins in a long, long time. But first, I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about how you got into travel, how long you have your agency for, and what kind of clients you typically serve.
Well, I'm a little different. First of all, thank you for this platform, Dan. This is spectacular. I came from a world of engineering. I was a sales engineer, and I thought that I could do everything myself. So I went on vacation early in the early 2000s. Thought I could just look it up, pick a hotel, and go to it. And I was in the Caribbean. I won't name the island, but this island, once I got there, it was such a bad experience that my wife said, I'm not even sleeping on this bed. And this hotel was ranked high and everything. So from there, I said, I never want a busy professional to have this experience again. So I was on vacation, planning a vacation, and that's not supposed to be the case. So what I did is, I kind of started my niche. So what I do is I design luxury vacations for busy professionals. So all they had to do is show up. And we've been doing it for a while here. Started really, I just found out, I looked at my LLC, it was 2002, but we started going into luxury full time in 2017. And we've been helping a lot of busy professionals out there design luxury vacations for celebrating a life event. And they've been pleased with our service.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, what you started in 2002, or you made your LLC in 2002. In 2017, you said you made the full step into luxury. What prompted that change to really head into luxury?
Well, what I did is I kind of my way of traveling increased. Once you get into this industry, I think a lot of the travel advisors on the call will understand, you kind of start working with mass market information. If it's cruises, if it's all inclusives, you start working with that. But my clients' travel needs have started to change and grow. And I started growing within the travel industry. And when I got introduced into luxury travel, it really opened my eyes and my mind. And I was able to offer my clientele some experiences that a lot of people just didn't know that was out there. And it was kind of like the point, if you know, you know. And these places, they do not advertise. You won't see them on a commercial. You won't see them saying 65% off. So, and they are some great experiences. So we started, really changing our mindset from deal booking to experiences. And
Okay.
it really grew our travel agency.
Yeah, and we have some good comments in the chat. And people saying it's a great really intro into luxury and a great decision. We were talking earlier in the week, Belvin, and you told me about your 3 characteristics of luxury travel. And I know, again, we're going to talk about sentiment check with consumers pretty soon, but I thought that was so insightful. I was hoping you could share that with us too. Your 3 characteristics of what luxury travel really is.
Oh yeah, my 3 characteristics, and this is basically how we as a company at Showtime Travel design luxury vacations. So we discuss customization, exclusivity, and high quality. So those are the 3 characteristics when it comes to luxury travel. So when it's not all about price. And I think a lot of people get misconstrued when it comes to luxury travel. They think it's all about price. Now, price is very significant when it comes to it. There are some different price points, but even through my through my work and through my experience, price is not everything. But if you have those 3 characteristics, you do have a luxury vacation.
And I see.
Hopefully, it's not too dark.
Well, I know the camera's going to adjust. I assume the sun.
Okay,
just
yeah, I'm
changed in
sorry
your
about that.
background.
I'm in a hotel.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah. Hopefully, so Raphael. Hopefully, somebody in the TMR team could take care of that for you, Raphael. All right, so let's talk about what's transforming the travel experience with consumers in 2023. I know things have been changing a lot. I know we're all still very much in this travel boom, and it feels very good. But I know that things are starting to change. There's been some consumer articles this week about demand maybe shifting, and I was hoping we can get your take on this, Belvin. The first thing I want to ask, just because you built your agency from scratch and you have to serve a very specific kind of client, is you seem to find your clients in a way I haven't heard other travel professionals talk to me about. How are you finding your clients? How are you finding new people to work with you in your agency?
Well, yeah, I am a little different. So we deal specifically with busy professionals, and these are people sometimes C-level professionals, executives, and things of that nature. But what I do is a lot of them are referrals. They'll come to me, but I also go to different conferences as well. I'm actually at a conference now, so we'll go to conferences with sales professionals, uh, uh, business owners, things of that nature. Not and we network. And once, it's funny, I'm here at a conference now in Dallas and did not know that some of my clients are already here. So it helps when they
Oh my
refer
God.
me to other people that are already here. And these are high net worth people. So they're at, different, and they're not, you won't find them out at different places. So they come to these conferences to network, and it's good to have a travel advisor here. And then it's always great to have referrals from past clients that are already here as well.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of advisors we've spoken to about finding clients who will search for these events, and maybe like local events where there's some sort of local business putting on something, and it's good to meet people there. But yeah, you're the first one I know who is going to these specific conferences built around a different industry outside of travel, and is successful finding clients that way. So I thought that was incredibly interesting.
Yes, yes. You'll see it in tech, you'll see it in business, banking, sales conferences. Those are places where you can just talk. It's not really, it's the way you network too. I would just tell people, learn how to network, because you just can't go out there and just give somebody a business card. That's not going to work. So you really have to, you have to train yourself on networking. And that's something that's helped me out a lot as well. It's just really learning how to network, introducing yourself the correct way, making sure that you provide value. And that's the main thing, is you always want to solve a problem and provide value. If you have those things, that's what will continue the conversation.
All right. Yeah. So provide value. I was going to ask for the one tip for networking, because I think that's something a lot of people struggle with, but providing value, I think, is a good one to start
Right.
off with. All right. So when we spoke during the week, I sort of asked for your take on the industry right now, and particularly what's changing the client experiences. And one thing that you mentioned right away was technology. I know technology has invaded all aspects of our life, but it's now invading travel full on. And for you, when you were talking about your clients, it seems technology has made a significant difference.
Yes, technology is making a great change, especially with the consumer demand, and if you're, on the travel agency demand. I mean, we just had our sponsor, We Travel, just talked about technology and how it can streamline the business, and there's other CRMs out there that are out there that can definitely help out.
Yeah.
I think the main thing when it comes to technology is you have to embrace it. I just completed, what is it? Of course, I just traveled, and it's a digital ID card now. So if you're flying with Delta, if you should have the Delta app, anytime you fly or travel, make sure you have the app as well. And then once you have the app, it can open up the doors for you. So I have this digital ID, for the people who travel with Delta, just put some in the comments, but you can go on the app now, and you can actually bypass TSA pre-check. You can bypass that clear and go straight through with digital ID. So, and that also helps because I'm a Marriott Bonvoy member as well. So therefore, once I didn't have to wait in line to check in. I could just check in, get the information, go straight, get the mobile key, and you can go to different rooms. So you really have to embrace technology, and you have to really implement that technology in your client's experience as well.
Yeah. I think the sun is playing tricks on the camera again, Belvin.
Yeah,
I don't know if yeah, but I know I talked to so many travel advisors, and we've spoken about a lot of programs that can very quickly streamline how you work. We spoke a little bit about AI on this show before. So it's definitely a thing that's going to just only continue. I'm just curious, you spoke about these apps, like the Delta app, the Marriott Bonvoy app. Is that something you communicate to your clients when they're traveling, or is that something they just do themselves?
They just do it themselves. I really don't push the loyalty programs if you're a part of it as well, because really we're Stars and Luminous, we're Hyatt Privé. So we have some of those partnerships. We're a partnership with IHG as well. So we have a variety of the loyalty brand partnerships. what we do is every vacation is, as I said, is one of the three principles we have when it comes to luxury, is customized. So it's not really delegated to a specific hotel, even though we do add, we give them a preference, but it's the whole experience. And we actually add the hotel that we feel is the best experience for them. So it's not really, I'm not really pushing the loyalty programs.
So when you say experience, what do you mean exactly? It's because it seems like you're saying it's not just about the accommodations, the in-room, things like that. I mean, what do you mean when you say experience when it comes to hotels?
So let me just give you an example. I had a client who just had her 50th birthday in Milan, Italy. And when she gets there, when she lands, Black Car Service takes her, well, first of all, even before she lands, we have a service that picks her up directly from her residence to take her to the airport. So she starts her vacation before she even gets to the airport. Once she lands in Milan, Italy, we have a car service that picks her up as well. And then, so we have that. Then and then when she gets to the hotel, they have her special colors and things like that into a room. These are all things that we're talking about. These are experiences from the get-go. And then she had a personal shopper because she likes to shop. We talked about what type of clothes and that does she like?
Yeah.
Does she like Chanel? Does she like Gucci? The personal shopper already knows that. So she already has a personal experience. And it's not just about shopping. They're telling her about exactly why this brand works. And she gets a shopping experience where she stays in a room and they present her different clothes. So she's not looking on the racks at Macy's or anything. She's staying in there and they're catering to her. So that's that personal experience that we're talking about. And then, and of course she has a contact on the ground that helps her. So she's on vacation independently, but she's not on vacation independently. She has a contact there. So those are a little bit of the experiences that, some of our clients have.
Yeah, and I know we're not exactly talking about luxury only today, but like you mentioned, Belvin, that's what there's always these headlines about the new definition of luxury travel, and that's something I've heard about too. Is exclusivity and personalization seems to be just an absolute need from luxury clients now. So it's nice to hear like an anecdote that proves what you're saying as well.
Yes.
All right, so the next one I want to talk about, Belvin, and we're going to talk a little bit about destinations later, and hopefully we can talk about demand and pricing because I know that's on top of people's minds right now. But because your clients are luxury, I know the airport lounge is an important part of their experience, but that seems to be changing as well. I was hoping you could talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, the airport lounge is changing. If anybody knows about it, if you've been to an airport lounge lately, sometimes you have to wait in line.
Yeah.
You have to wait in a long line to get into the airport lounges. So you really have to I think they're starting to make changes, especially because a lot of people are getting into them, not because of loyalty so much, but more of credit card benefits. And they may start changing those. It's been rumors that they're going to be changing those because it's not changed to, it used to be a little more exclusive. And I don't think it's exclusive as it is now. Even when I was in Atlanta, we had it was a long wait to get in, and this was a Sky Miles club, a Delta Sky club, and it really wasn't a line to get in, but it wasn't any seating once you did get in. So you have to look into that. But they are making some great changes there. I've seen the food upgrades. Of course, you already have good, strong connectivity with the internet. It's a great place you can get work done. I've been in some where of course, you can take showers, you can change, especially if you're doing a long haul flight. If you're going to, let's say you're going to Qatar Airlines and Emirates, when you're going to the Middle East, they're known for their airport lounges. So you can do a little bit of everything, especially if you're flying to Qatar. The airport alone is a city in Doha. So you get a little bit of everything, and it makes the layover seem not that long, even though it is long. You can do everything you need to do there in the airport lounges.
Yeah, and I know anyone who's flown out of New York recently has seen, because Delta has their hub in Atlanta. They have a large presence in New York too, and yeah, there seems to be more and more common. You'll see that line wrap around this Delta Sky Lounge. And I'm just curious, have you heard that from your clients, Belvin? Have your clients been unable to get in some of these lounges? Is that a common experience for them?
I haven't been able to get in some of these lounges. So I mean, I don't have to even go to my clients. You know, I'm a good person in coming in 3 hours early, but it's one, you're wondering, is it okay do you want to sit in these lounge or, stand in line? It reminded me of my earlier days waiting to get into the club. And you're sitting in line, waiting in line to get in. And, I said, you to a point, is it really worth it? And I think that's why the airport lounges are making these changes, because they don't want those problems. It's a good thing that everybody has it, but anything with demand, they can raise the prices out to kind of filter some people out.
Yeah, I do. I have a feeling that is because I know the credit card companies do work well with the airlines to get their members these benefits as well. So it does feel like there's a change coming, especially with these lines like we spoke about, and corporate travel not all the way back yet. And that seems to be a lot of the population in those lounges. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to consider, and might be a good thing to talk to your clients about too, who rely on these lounges as part of their luxury travel experience as well.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the third thing we want to talk about, and then I want to get into the destinations. Is something you mentioned earlier in the week. I know you don't do a lot of cruises. You won't do any mass market cruises. You mentioned you might do some of the luxury lines and some of the smaller ships. But there seems to be this proliferation of luxury yachts for luxury clients. It's something that I know they're marketing to travel advisors pretty heavily nowadays, and it's something that seems to be expanding. And for you said that could be a bigger part of your business going forward as well.
Yes, I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see even more, and I think a lot of people are looking at Four Seasons. Four Seasons has a yacht that's coming out. Of course, the Ritz-Carlton is coming. Has one, and then you're looking. I think the Belmont is starting one as well. So you're starting to see some of these major luxury hotel owners, lines going into the yacht industry. And I think a lot of people are wondering, well, why are they going to the yacht industry? It's all about the experience. So if you could put that experience on a spaceship, and I think people would go to it as we go into space travel in the future. It's all about the experience. So if you're used to a Ritz-Carlton experience, why not? If I want to go on a cruise or a yacht, I want that type of experience. So that's where I think a lot of people are seeing the change. So look out for it. Some of them are already here with the yacht. So you're going to see the Four Seasons, the Ritz-Carlton has just opened up. So that's a trend that I think that will grow. And you may see other luxury hotel brands jump on board as well.
For you and your clients, Belvin, is that something you pitch to them, like when the Four Seasons or the Ritz-Carlton, when they started this entry into the yachting industry, was that something you spoke about to them? Or I'm just curious, was that something that they found out about on their own and they come to you about it?
Well, I try to be kind of preemptive and start it, but some, they read as well, and they'll come to me and ask me to do a little research if they're interested about it. But I try to be out front and beat them, because some of these things, especially when we go to different conferences. For example, I'll be at the ILTM in Cannes. So you'll get a lot of information prior to the consumer, and we try to make sure that we showcase that information. So when it is ready, we'll be one of the first ones that, if they want to try it.
Yeah, and it does seem like an easy pitch. Like if you love Four Seasons, that's where you stay when you go to these different destinations. It does seem Four Seasons guests would be interested in sailing on a Four Seasons yacht too.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we have about 20 minutes left. We're about halfway through. I want to get into some meatier stuff now, but I see some good comments. Danielle says lounges save my sanity, but the lines to get in now are ridiculous, which we agree with. And Nelson agrees with the Four Seasons yacht thing too. If anyone has any questions, please drop them in the chat. We're going to talk a lot about what's trending amongst consumers now, so I'd love to hear your feedback as we go along today too. But Belvin, travel was supposed to change a lot post-COVID, and some things definitely changed, but other things seem to have stayed the same. Europe is completely packed this summer. We've seen those photos, and we've heard the news about lines at in Amsterdam, Schiphol, and Heathrow and things like that. I've spoken to a lot of advisors who've mentioned that they've had to send clients elsewhere. But I'm also speaking to a lot of clients who are also sending a lot of advisors who are still sending clients to Italy, to Greece, things like that. For you, where are your clients headed this summer, or where are they looking to book when they're making plans this summer as well?
Wow, my clients are all over the place. It all depends on what they want to do or what they want to experience. So, for example, when it comes to Europe, you know, a lot of clients who still have kids, they want to travel who still have kids that are in school. Let me be a preference. You know, they have to travel in the summer. And if they want to go to Italy and things like that, they're going to be there right in the heart of prime season. You know, if they do want that getaway, it is some Caribbean islands that are not as packed like you would see with the Punta Canas and DR, Jamaica, and some parts, of course, Mexico. So you might have to start going to some other islands, maybe St. Bart's, Anguilla, Antigua as well, to kind of not get that real crowded feeling. When it comes, you know, in Belize with the Keys, going to different Keys, and these are just shorter destinations. But what I do see with my clients is a big push to Africa. You know, we've had a variety of different clients go to Ghana because they wanted to learn more about their ancestry and culture. You have people starting to go more and more to Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa as well. Those are some things that are being pushed. Another one, when it comes to Italy, and I've been seeing, to Europe, I've been seeing Portugal being pushed out a lot. Even in the tourism industry, I've been seeing a lot of hotels and the tourism boards really push Portugal. And the US dollar seems to go a long way in Portugal as compared to other European countries.
Yeah. I'm curious, you mentioned Africa. We have some comments in the chat. Africa's hot for other advisors on this call as well. Your clients, Belvin, they're going for safari. You mentioned they're going maybe for cultural, for heritage experiences. Why is Africa becoming more and more of a hotspot?
Well, Africa is a little different I'm African American, so it's a little different for us than it is for other people when it comes to Africa. A lot of clientele probably was going strictly for the safaris and things of that nature. That's kind of secondary when it comes to us. And I don't want to generalize myself speaking for all African Americans, but I'm just speaking from my clientele who are traveling. But they're looking more for their culture. We're looking more for our ancestry, and that means a lot, especially when it comes to Western Africa, the Ghanas, all over the West Coast, even Nigeria, Sierra Leone. So you have these different countries, but now they're even venturing out to South Africa, eastern parts of Africa, is Kenya as well. So you're kind of seeing a lot of different, a lot of different people wanting to see more of Africa. I think a lot of clientele, though, they really don't understand. We have to teach, if you're an advisor on here, we have to teach our clients sometimes about Africa as a continent, not a country. So we have to make sure that they understand that it is not a simple trip. Because I've had a client that just came to me and said, I want to go visit South Africa for a few days, and then I wanted to go see Ghana for another day. And I'm like, no, it's not like that. But but that's why we're here. We have to teach our clients about Africa and different destinations as well.
I can totally see how that would be an issue, because we talk about that with Europe sometimes, how clients seem a little uneducated about geography in Europe, and I can't imagine it's better with Africa. I want to ask about Europe too, Belvin, but Richard has a question in the chat, and maybe this is something you could help him out with. He wants to know if you have any advice from transitioning from selling non-luxury clients to luxury clients. I know that's something I assume you went through in your career. It seems like a difficult thing to do, but do you have any advice for someone looking to make that move?
Oh yes, I do. In fact, I want to give Dan, if it's okay, I'll ask people just DM me. I'm at Instagram. My tagline is Luxury Travel by Belvin. and just put, you know, you want to learn more about luxury, and I can just tell you, you know, I'll give you a link of what I've worked on. But with that being said, I really would say anybody who wants to get into the luxury style, and I've transitioned, it's all about solving a problem. Everything, because I come from a sales background. So, you know, a lot of people are scared to talk, and they're scared of being rejected. I come from a time where you had to ask a girl for a slow dance, and you knew you may get rejected, but you went anyway. So you have to understand, get away from that negativity. You go back and you talk, and you kind of figure out what type of problems they have and how I could solve them. And when it comes into that luxury, you really have to figure out what is your niche in that luxury frame. So do you want to be that person who's you may want to do luxury high-end cruises. You may want to, you know, work on a different a destination or a style of travel. With me, I kind of push a lot of celebratory travel. So a lot of people come to me for birthdays and anniversaries and reunions. And you want to make sure that, I would say, one of the big things is you do not want to sell or design experiences from your own pockets, meaning you don't want to put a price on their experience. You don't want to say it's too high. You never want to say it's too high. You let them set the limits of what the price is, you know, what the price can be. So I don't want to, you know, some people, if you come from that deal background or that you know, that budgetary travel, and you bring that mindset into luxury travel, you're going to hurt yourself. You know, you're going to really kind of, it's going to be a challenge for you because you're selling from your pocket instead of the client's pocket.
Yeah, that is an incredible piece of advice. Because it doesn't seem like something that would be intuitive, but yeah, I've seen some of these fares, some of these rates for luxury cruises, vacation like that, and I guess you don't want to seem surprised when you get that ask, right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. I hope that. Yeah. Go ahead, Bill.
No. I really like to help people because I was that person. I probably made so many mistakes in this industry that you know, I can write a book about it. But what it's, you know, once I started working hard in my niche and really defining myself and not wavering. If somebody comes off, it's okay to say, no, you're not a good client for me. It's okay. And they understand that and they respect that. And that's why I've been able to be listed in the Robb Report and other publications, because I'm not for everybody. And I'm okay with that. I'm not for everybody. But I'm there to help those who are willing to help, you know, who want my services. So, you know, I already made a guide out for anybody. So if you go to Luxury Travel by Belvin, just put, you know, just ask for that guide and I'll send you the link. It's free. So I'll just send it out. And it's just 8 steps that help me out.
All right. Yeah. We did drop the link to your Instagram in the chat too, if anyone is looking for that. And hopefully we'll ask a little bit about more of this if we have time at the end. But I know some people came from destinations, and I know you mentioned Europe, Belvin, you mentioned Portugal. I'm curious, is when you're getting asks now for some time in the future, maybe for winter travel or maybe for next summer, what are they still asking for these standout destinations in Europe? Are they still asking for Italy, for Greece, for France? Like, are the big destinations still the big destinations?
Well, I tell you what they're asking for. They're asking for bucket list vacations. They're asking for their dream vacation. So if they've always thought about going to Greece, they're asking for Greece. If they're asking for Italy, it's been a dream of them. You know, that's something that the pandemic has taught us. We're not going to, you know, they're not going to wait, even if they have to plan. So I had someone who's already planning for 2025 for their milestone birthday. And because they want it so much, they're not going to wait, like, you know, hopefully when I retire, hopefully when this happens, you know, hopefully when that happens. If anything, the pandemic has taught us is that you can do this now. And I tell a lot of people as well, when they try to go to Europe or they try to go to Africa, they try to go to these different countries, they try to get multiple countries in one vacation. it's okay. You can go back.
Okay.
You don't have
Yeah.
to do everything in one vacation. You can go back. It's so much to do in one country. You don't really have to country hop. And once they start learning more and more about that information, they start becoming a better traveler. And that's why when I talk to you, Dan, it's all about experiences. You can get a lot of experiences in one country. It's a variety of different cities. So we work on that. We design that experience for them. And yes, we're starting to see anything that they've dreamed about, whatever they've seen on YouTube, Instagram, and things of that nature. I started a YouTube channel. Well, it's not started, I've had it. So I give inspiration as well. So I'll let people know it's Showtime Travel, and I give inspiration. We have one on Dubai, and we've inspired a lot of people about Dubai. And now, we're starting to get leads from there as well.
Yeah, it does seem, you mentioned bucket list travel. I know that was coming out of COVID, the big thought that bucket list travel was going to be big. And then what I wanted to ask about was, you mentioned experiences and inspiration. You mentioned inspiration. People seem so hungry for inspiration now. Like I know people don't necessarily want to go back to the same place over and over again, and people are craving these new experiences, but they also be wanting inspiration too. And it's nice that you're able to provide that for them as their advisor.
Yeah, and we get a big thing, a big push. Are we travel advisors? Are we travel creators? Are we travel influencers? We're all that. It's if you're a travel advisor, I know this, you think of these travel influencers and everything. If you're a travel advisor, people are looking to you to what's next. What they're trying to look for inspiration, it's out there. And that's why I kind of, when it comes to my YouTube channel, I want to provide inspiration. So when we're traveling, I'll give you kind of experiences that you can look forward to if you hit this destination. And just like yourself, Dan, I do a podcast to say, hey, if you're going to Italy, we just had one in Italy, and we could just, if you have questions, there was just a situation in Dubai where this young lady, she got arrested, and people were scared to go to Dubai because they hear so many different rumors. So we did something 10 myths to debunk when it comes to Dubai. So these are things that people are already asking for. So we just, we put it out up front. So if you're looking to go to Dubai, can I hold hands? Can I drink alcohol in Dubai? Things like that. We put it out there right up front. So when you're ready to plan, you could come to me at Belvin, Showtime Travel, and you say, I'm ready because I've already planned. You've already inspired me. I already know what's out there. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm just curious. I mean, is your YouTube channel, your content you're creating, is that a lead generator for your agency too?
Yes. If you're a travel advisor out here, I want you, if you have not done so, make sure you have a call to action. You're not just posting just to be posting. It's not just, but I don't want you putting deals on there. I can't, don't put, $199, get this, you need to put experiences out there. But on the other hand, right after the experience, you need to have a call to action. If, under my YouTubes, in the first comments, it's usually contact us to design your luxury experience. And then, that's your call to action. You want to have something coming to your Calendly account or whatever scheduler you have to set up a call for, to discuss it further. So it's no use of you putting this inspiration out there, and if you don't have a call to action. So you'll see that on my YouTube. You'll see some of that on, on our Instagram. If you look into our profile, you have to have a call to action there.
All right. And I wanted to ask about Europe one more time, and then I want to talk a little bit about demand and where we see that going.
Okay.
A lot of the headlines in Europe this summer, Belvin, is, like I mentioned, the heat and the crowds. Is that impacting your clients' vacations at all? And is there anything you do to make it as pleasant as possible for when they are facing these kind of high temperatures or these kind of crowds?
Dan, I have people in Africa. It's hot there. I have people.
Yeah.
I have people in Italy. Italy, they were very hot. We try to, but the thing is, we're not God. We can't control the weather. It can rain. I've had people call me that they were mad because it rained, and on their vacation. It's something that I can't control.
Yeah.
But we do try to let them know what to expect out there to make sure that they are prepared. But as far as the heat, has it stopped anybody from traveling? No, I've not had anybody say I won't travel because of that. Now I've been in Marrakesh and it was 116 in Marrakesh. When I planned that vacation, I wasn't thinking that it was going to be 116, but it's there. It's 116.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So you just plan accordingly while you're there to get the most out of it.
I mean, what changes do you or do your clients do they make during the day? Is it simply like you have to go out earlier, you have to find things to do that might be inside, you have to find maybe off the beaten path things that might avoid crowds? Like, is it just simple alterations like that?
See, the great thing about it is my clients, they're personalized. So they'll have their own driver, So they usually I may have a drive, they may have a driver for a day. So in it, they can rearrange, they're flexible. You're not dealing with a big group where somebody's holding a flag and you're walking about and he has a time slot from 10 to 11. So they're flexible. So once they're in there, they can make different changes to make sure that they're not dealing with the heat as much. Sometimes you just have to go through it, but since it's personal, it makes it quicker. You're not really dealing with it. You can tell the guy, let's stop, get a little gelato or and relax a little bit, and then let's start up again. So it's really, you just have you're flexible with your time, so it really doesn't affect you as much.
All right. Yep. And Richard again, it says attractions early in the morning and evening help, and I'm sure I know that's what I'm reading a lot in consumer press too. Something else. Yeah, go ahead.
Just real quick, and the tour operators know it. We have a lot of women who do flying dress photo shoots. So we'll have photo shoots in there and they'll try to put noon in these. You have to get up in the morning. So you have to do the 7:45, 8:45, because the residents of the destination, they don't want to be in the heat either. So they want to get out as well.
Yeah. All right. So I mentioned this a couple times. This seems to be the big discussion now in the industry. It's such a boom period for all the advisors I speak to, Belvin, yourself included. It just seems everyone has a lot of business, so many bookings. There just doesn't seem to be enough hours in the day. Do you, on your side of things, do you feel like anything is changing when it comes to travel demand? Is spend going down at all? Are your clients still so interested in traveling? Like, do you see any change in your client sentiment?
Yeah, I see a change. The biggest change is what we all felt was the big boom right after the pandemic. So it came in stages. So for example, I was still selling a little bit of travel during the pandemic, but it was harder. But once they stopped the testing, the testing to get back into the country, that's when it really opened up. So now I'm thinking that is kind of dying down now. People who were traveling, they're kind of figuring out, okay, I got that travel bug out of me because I was held up during the pandemic all the time. So that's kind of dwindling down. But what I do see is people are still planning their vacation. So that big boom, I think, is over with. But I don't see anybody stating that they don't want to take a vacation or more, or I just want to stay domestic. I'm still seeing a lot of people who want to take those big vacations. They're just planning them now. Before, after the pandemic, it was quick. Get me out of here. I got to do something. Now they're trying to plan those big vacations, and some of them are doing maybe 8 months to 2 years out.
Yeah, and I think the financial press or consumer press talk about it as a shift from goods to services, and that does seem to be a behavior that's pretty entrenched right now with North American consumers. People still want to spend for experiences rather than to spend for things. And it's funny, you mentioned earlier in the week something that I've heard from luxury hotelers is that some of their luxury clients, their bookings, their business follows the equity markets, follows the S&P. and everything seems pretty healthy right now. So it does seem like things should remain healthy as long as the economic situation continues as well.
Yeah, you hear the rumors of a recession. A recession is coming, but just like you said, when we talked earlier, we're looking at the S&P 500, and I know everybody's not in the stocks, but it kind of gives you a health measurement of what's going on out there. And they're looking at the stocks, and things are growing. I'm an owner of Apple. I've seen Apple grow and grow, 120 to I think 190. So people are looking at the health of the stock market and determining, the health of the economy. It's not always one and one. I'm quote unquote, I am not a financial advisor. I'm doing that disclaimer right now. But that's where I see a lot of clients going back and forth, when they look at the trends. Where are we right now? And we're still seeing growth in the economy when it comes to the market.
Yeah, and I know I've heard people call it the wealth effect. Like, I know a lot of stuff isn't liquid for a lot of people, but feeling more wealthy or feeling wealthier than you are seems to be a good sign for people booking travel. The last thing I want to ask for Belvin, and then we're gonna thank everyone and wrap up. Pricing was also the big issue this year. People seemed very, very willing to pay these high prices for business class seats. We had our conference in Vancouver and Toronto this year, and the amount of money I've heard advisors say their clients are spending on business class seats to Australia or to these bucket list destinations, like you mentioned, was just extraordinary. Is pricing having any kind of lag or having any kind of impact right now on your clients' bookings or the way they're thinking about their future vacations?
Yes, airline pricing does have an effect. I looked at pricing even when I was working on a few vacations. It was cheaper to fly to Dubai than it was to fly to St. Lucia. So St. Lucia was well over $1,000 for a direct flight out of Atlanta, and you can fly. You were getting I was getting pricing under $1,000 for Dubai, and these were just the lower level economy classes. And that's a problem. But what I do see is it allows people to take chances. So they're probably saying, instead of going to St. Lucia, let me try Dubai. If I have if it costs less for the flight, I might as well go further out there. And that's what you're seeing. But when it comes to the different styles of flights and the high price when it comes to flights, that's why I think a lot of people are planning their vacations out right now. They're not trying to go within the month or within a month or two. They're trying to plan those vacations out now. A lot of people, since they're planning their vacations out so long, the flights are not even available. So that's why they have the land down, and then they'll look at a lot of my clients have loyalty points. So they'll use those loyalty points to either buy the flight or upgrade on the flight. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. The booking windows were something that definitely changed during COVID. I saw so many people with their short booking windows. But I know booking in advance, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you'll have the lowest price, but more than likely, from what I hear from suppliers nowadays, prices really aren't going down. So booking in advance sort of secures you'll know exactly how much you're going to have to pay.
Right. Yeah. And if you book in advance, it's always a good way to track the price or whenever you're ready to purchase it, you can do so when you're ready.
Yeah. All right, so we're just about wrapped up. I know we have Jamie from We Travel still on the call. I don't know if she's hanging around, if she wants to come back on. But first, I want to thank you, Belvin. I really had a fun conversation with you today. I know you're traveling. And we do a lot of the very specific sessions and episodes with these. So just talking through what's happening in the industry, talking through where your opinion is, was really enlightening for me, and I was hoping is enlightening for everybody else. And I see Jamie now. Jamie, I just want to thank you and We Travel for sponsoring today's episode as well.
Of course. Thank you. Thanks for letting us join. And thank you everyone for joining today's session. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Like I said, we're going to be back in September. It's a few weeks. I know there's a comment in the chat about rewatching this session. We'll have it up later today. But thanks everyone for coming out. This has really been a fun summer for us, and we really hope to see you back early in September. So hope everyone stays cool, stays safe, and I hope to see you all very soon.
Thank you.